Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a dive into immediate development around Arsenal's pursuit of Viktor Gyökeres, the prolific Swedish striker that has been lighting up the Portuguese Premier League. Just when it looked like we're about to close the deal for the striker, new obstacles have emerged and the transfer could be hanging in the balance. So let's explore what exactly is going on. This summer, Arsenal have two prime targets in their centre forward position, one being Gyokeres, the other being Šeško. Initially, it seemed like Šeško was the primary target with Arsenal on making plans with Leipzig, but the price that Leipzig had eventually called for Arsenal was deemed too much, so the club pivoted towards Gyokeres. Arteta believed that Gyokeres could offer a unique blend of physicality, work rate, finishing ability, which would elevate the squad to become genuine title contenders. Arsenal come second 3 times in a row, and not having a striker, like a recognized striker, has been a detriment to the squad. So someone like Viktor Gyökeres was supposed to come in to fill that void this summer. Negotiations were progressing well. The player had done enough on his own end to make things work. There was a talk of him forfeiting almost 2 million euros of potential bonuses. There's another casual talk of him breaking up with his girlfriend to ensure that he has nothing to do with the city. And there's also the part of him saying he was going to go on strike, which he eventually did. So all that was left was for Arsenal to secure this move for him. So the first question would be, why does a move for Gyokeres make sense? First of all, we are aware of Gyokeres' physicality and his strength. There's a video that was done last week where I compared Gyokeres with Šeško, and I spoke a lot about what he could bring to the team. His physicality and his strength was a very major one. Gyokeres is a big bully that can take on Premier League defenders. We spoke about his work rate and pressing. The stats show that he's one of those players that has very, very high work rate. I think he even had the most presses in Europe last season, alongside the likes of Martin Odegaard. I spoke about his finishing. 97 goals in 102 games is an outstanding record. And of course, even if it's the Premier League, numbers are still numbers. And it's clear that he's actually a very good finisher. Gyokeres is not requiring any form of adaptation. He has spent quality time in England in the Championship, where he was playing for Swansea and Coventry City. So he will need to blend, and he will need to learn the language. He has very good predatory instincts. He's the kind of striker that will be what Aubameyang was for us. A poacher that will be in the box, to kill off those chances when they arrive. His attacking output is very great. I've spoken about that, and of course, his positioning and on the ball movement is exemplary as well. And the most important feature about Gyokeres was the fact that he's going to offer us something different to Kai Havertz in attack. Kai Havertz was the one that will have the hold-up play, area movement. Gyokeres was the one that will keep bombing forward. He finishes those chances that are being created by his teammates. So there have been a roadblock, and the most recent one came from the Sporting president, Varandas. What he said was this: everything can be solved in the closure of the market. A hefty fine and an apology to the club. If Arsenal doesn't want to pay the fair market value, Sporting Lisbon is very comfortable with that for the next 3 years. If the geniuses who are devising this strategy think that it puts pressure on him to make it easier for Gyokeres to leave, not only are they completely wrong, but they're also making it more complicated for the player to leave. No one is above the interest of the club, whoever they are. So as you can see, the president of Sporting Lisbon, Varandas, has already placed a certain amount that he wants Gyokeres to leave for, which he believes is the fair market value. Gyokeres has a release clause of 100 million euros, but from what we've read online from trusted sources, the alliance is asking to pay at least 80 million euros for Gyokeres. Arsenal to pay 65 million euros guaranteed, with 50 million euros in add-ons, but we believe that Sporting wants 70 million euros guaranteed with 10 million in add-ons. And this is quite disappointing when you think of the fact that Arsenal just churned out 52 million pounds for Noni Madueke, who is actually a backup option to Bukayo Saka, compared to Gyokeres, who is actually a primary target. Another potential roadblock for me is the fact that Gyokeres is a striker on high demand. And if Arsenal keeps stalling with this move, another club can potentially come in and swoop in for him. But whether Liverpool is looking for a striker, just never have enough strikers. They've gotten Liam Delap, they've gotten Joao Pedro. I'm surprised they're swooping for Viktor Gyökeres as well. You might think that, that's not really looking at the FFP and PSR restrictions, but I don't believe that's the case. Bearing in mind that, there are many other targets that Arsenal have been gunning for. Clearly, if Sporting had actually accepted Arsenal's initial offer for Gyokeres, would have not been in this situation. But as it stands, financial obligations are making this deal difficult. So are there any contingencies? If Arsenal miss out on Gyokeres, could they go back to Sesko? I don't think that's possible because Sesko's camp was sitting at Arsenal net to be 90 million euros, which is even a whole lot more than what Gyokeres was available for. There's the talk of potentially going back for Oli Watkins, but that'd be very disappointing because Watkins is 29, and last season he even struggled to maintain the first team place with John Duran. Duran had to leave to Saudi Arabia for Watkins to nail a place in the squad. But his Premier League proving no doubt. So I would expect that Arsenal should still do what they can to go for Gyokeres. There's also Dusan Vlahovic, who was recently released by Juventus. He'll be available on a free transfer. All you require will just be a sign-on fee. So can this move still happen? Is the Gyokeres deal dead? I don't think so. I think Arsenal still have time to raise more funds for this move if they really believe that it's the target that they should get. And unless they continue to play hardball with Sporting, then that will be a different challenge. However, I believe that there's a cooling off period where both teams will actually take some time off and come back to the table. It might be a bit disappointing with Arteta hoping that this deal was going to be secured before pre-season, but that doesn't look like the case. So that's all for today. Should Arsenal pay what is required for Gyokeres in terms of Sporting's valuation of the player, or should they pivot to another target? Please drop your thoughts in the comment. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please give it a like. Continue to subscribe for daily Arsenal news, and I'll see you in the next video. Come on, you gunners.